I'm a lecturer.
Hello everyone and welcome to our stream. I'm Yuri and we have Arthur here as well, and we were the hosts for the Dyninno Development Challenge. And if you don't know what the challenge was all about or what it was at all and how to even make one, then you have come to the right place. As today we will talk about why we did the challenge, how it went, how we prepare and plan for it, and what the outcome was. And as we're on a live stream, we will have Q&A session at the end of it as well. So before we begin, let's try with a simple question. Can you explain what do you do? I mean, on a daily basis. We are all programmers, technical people, so probably we mostly write code. We develop products, we ship features. But again, when we have a broader picture, it gets hard to explain because as this question, it's kind of simple. So the difficulty would be normal for it. But then we bring the company to the picture. And if we try to answer the question of what Dyninno or Dynatech is, this is where it starts to be really hard. And let's think about why it's that way. And when we think about the Dynatech as a company to describe and why it's so hard, we can come up with just the idea that we can look it on a website. And when we do, we get this information. And it complicates things even more because none of us can get a sense of what's really happening there. So to decompose the complexity, we have come up with something like this. Like, describing Dyninno is hard because it's multiple businesses run by many people, sometimes not even sharing a common ground in between other than being in the same group. We have countless products. In the travel division alone, I bet there are a few people who knows about everything or like every single product that is being developed there. And we're mostly targeting foreign markets, which means that, nobody or a few people uses them locally on everyday basis. So how can we improve? There's the checklist because when you don't know what to do, you can just look around and see what other folks are doing. And it turns out that most folks are getting the company website. We have this as well. They have the social media presence. Yeah, we have that too. They can have a mascot. We have one as well. And I bet not many of you know not many of you know what the name of a mascot is. So look it up. And the most fun thing is you can have public activities. And this is where we have settled in. And the public activity we would like to try is the development challenge. From our perspective, development challenge is 90% PR and 10% fun because everything needs to be fun. But from the outside, we're just exchanging the fun of participants to the public presence and the public image. The second thing about the development challenges is that those tend to target the right audience, the very audience we need, developers. And as developers ourselves, we can pretty much closely guess what would be interesting for other devs, what topics, what problems, what processes or even what activities in general to do in the challenge. And when we plan for the challenge, the very first thing that we need to get solid is the message that we would like to communicate. In our case, the message is simple: to tell about Dyninno. So Dyninno as a company is selling flight tickets. Everybody knows that. We're lending money as well. Yeah, many know that too. We're having some services for entertainment industry. So yeah, that was what casting does. And we're a serious business. I mean, we employ a lot of people. We develop a lot of things. We're kind of even, I don't know, big for a local market. We have a presence. But when we think about developers specifically, there is one thing that we need to communicate, that Dyninno, or Dynatech in our case, is different. And it is different in many ways. And the most common ones are that we are not just an outsourced company. We do our own products. That's important. We're not just a usual WordPress developer. We have something more complex than that. We're not doing boring CRUD projects on an everyday basis. I mean, probably most of us don't. And again, on this slide, some things may be true or not in real life, but that's the message we would like to communicate. And the message to devs is that Dynatech has non-trivial, interesting tasks and jobs. It has high-quality products. And it's basically a company you would like to work for. I mean, as a message that we would like to send. So, before we begin the technical implementation, as for any competition, we need to have a set of principles. And as everybody likes to have a nice names for set of principles, we have HERE. And HERE stands for honest scoring, equality of opportunity, real problems, and ease of entry. And we were trying to keep with all of these four for the challenges that we made. But the first real challenge, or the first real problem, was how do you even find an interesting problem? I mean, on the outside it looks simple. You just pick something from your everyday tasks and made this as a competition, but it turns out it's not. You need to talk to people to find what are really interesting ones of the general pool of the problems that they have. And you need to engage them to participate in this challenge development so they can help, they can give some insight. And that's a really tricky part. And in a matter of few weeks, we only gathered like 7 of the huge problems of our huge company. And as we are in the stream, you can probably just pause right here, go through the list, and try to pick up 2 of the solutions that you would like to participate in. And when you're back, you can see which ones we have picked. So we settled with the best flight option search algorithm for the first challenge, and the decision making for the loan issuing as a second one. We have also given them the code names. The first one would be flight search, and the second would be credit score. As the slides follow, you would probably see the code names only, so keep that in mind. Regarding the compliance with the principles we have set, for the first challenge, the rules were really simple. I mean, this is not a technical talk, so we will not get deep into the implementation details. You can follow the link on the top of this slide and get all the information you need. But in general, the rules were simple. You would write an algorithm and package it as a Docker container. This Docker container reads an input file, processes it, and writes an output file. So that's really simple. You can use any language, technology, or runtime to accomplish that. That's also a real problem because at the moment of that challenge, we have just implemented the similar thing in the GAP project in travel division. It also has an ease of entry because as you're not limited to any specific technology, you can use what you already know, and you can use Docker, and that's the kind of common denominator that most of us use anyway. And we have the honest scoring principle because as we have the common runtime and evaluation It's the same for everyone. And we have real-time leaderboards as well. So you can look up your position, your score, and such things. For the second challenge, the credit score, we have made things even more simple. There's no touch required at all. You can just take the input file, which is a set of parameters for every loan request, go through it, and just give the results, whether you're given a loan or not, just binary 1 or 0, and that's it. So this task can be accomplished manually if you wish to do so. It's also really transparent because the decisions are already known, and when you submit your set of decisions, you can later on, after the challenge, compare it with the actual one. So it's really transparent. But there's the planning thing, and as we all know, the real juice is within the execution. And Arthur can tell you more about how the execution went and what are the real results, and most importantly, whether we have achieved our goals or not.
Hi guys, my name is Arthur and I will tell you about execution of challenge. So, you have developed challenge. What next thing you need to do? Launch it. But when you launch things to production, bad things can happen. And what things can happen? Bad things. So, we have decided to create a small launch for our internal colleagues. They want to challenge themselves also and have some fun. So you can see a lot of happy faces. They had fun, a lot of fun, and we had feedback from them, and we have tested our challenge on small subset of users, and this helped us to improve our challenge till that public see us. So what we known after internal challenge. Challenge is ready for public, it's working. You can just submit solution and get result. And the problem was very interesting. People on our work was trying to get solution, trying to figure out, trying to cheat the system, found some hacks to overcome this problem. And this was very fun. And this was our first feedback, and we was very delighted to see that people likes it. But we also get some interesting insights. A lack of visibility, for example, that people do not know what happens when they submit solutions, whether they fail, whether they are out of memory and anything. And we don't have engagement, like gamification strategy, how we want to people to compete more or anything. And we have found first abuse attempts. People try to download our datasets, and this was, I think, get them an unfair advantage. And for the public launch, we decided to switch off networking. So this will start like something near to impossible task. Here you can see what we do after feedback. That we have created some output messages. So your solution was timeouted, your solution was out of memory killed, and if your solution was crashed, you can see a log output. This log output was clipped, so you cannot just get your dataset and get result. After internal launch, we had our challenge announcement at Dev Club. As you can see on this slide, we had a large meeting at Mythnos when Andrei, our CTO, give a little talk about Dyninno group and what we do. This also was our message. We want to know people know about us. And after that, we get a little introduction of our challenge. But not anything can be good. So we had planned for this presentation, but we have not rehearsed all the parts. And guess what? part that we don't have rehearsed was bad. Bad or boring? I think that's the same in this instance. But what you need to do when you just done something bad, you need to do recovery. So we had a recovery plan. We have created with PR division a video explanation about our rules, and it was very good, and people was satisfied with it. They can see what challenge about it and how to participate in it. Another thing that was interesting that we get a presentation at Dev Club. We had a lot of developers, a lot of people. It's like a huge community. There are active developers. They participate in every event. But this particular Dev Club was about machine learning and artificial intelligence. But our task was focused more on developers. So just this is like one miss shot, but yes. But we had to live with what we had. It's like Dev Club had audience, and we need to have an audience. So this is what it is. Another interesting thing that after giving a presentation, we had a talk of Ivan. Ivan talked about machine learning and artificial intelligence, and we have seen some persons from different companies seeking for a solution, how to seek flight searches, how to iterate graphs. Like it was like first input from different people, not our internal colleagues. That task is interesting. Here you can see that we have created some engagement activities like hooking up people. When you on the left side you can see that we have a screenshot of our Telegram. When person pass all tests, we have notified all participants. Try harder or you will be loser. And you can see our leaderboard. So another interesting thing there, like second and third place, they have similar expense. So they need to start compete with each other to have a better result and to get the second place or first one as well. Also in challenges, communication is one of the most important things, and when you want to change rules, you need to communicate with your participants. As our challenge was hard, some people cannot get how to just create simple solutions. And we tried in flight, change some rules and publish some datasets. This will help some developers to find simple solution and submit one simple solution. Yes, but this could give an unfair advantage to them. And we asked our participants whether should we do that or not, and the answer is that we should not do that, and we did not do it. So communication is the key. Yes. This awards, I very like this slide. It was like December, like holiday season, like Christmas, and you can see like this. There is Saint Andre giving presents to a good boy Alexander's that participate in our challenge. Like you can see, he is very happy, and yeah, maybe sentimental about it, but yes, I think it's very nice to give people a nice emotions, like happy feeling. Here you can see some statistics about our first challenge. We had 18 participants, a lot of unique solutions, a lot of test cases, a lot of person used Docker about what Yuri told you. So this was a right guess about Docker. What we know about our fly search challenge? Yes, we can do also public challenges. Internal was easy. Public was harder, but we can do it, and we can do it on the right level. Another thing that Dev Club where we were giving awards was about vintage. This task was for developers, so maybe it's a hit, maybe not, maybe a miss, but who knows. We had an awesome production capability and event planning. We had this event in our office. We had a great live stream. We had a great office, great organization. This was most cool dev clubs that I have attended. So people just can see like, so Dyninno is very cool. Another very interesting thing that we have created some tool that help us to evaluate problems that we are using now. So not all that we do, the challenge is not used now. We are using these tools in casting, for example. Another one great thing that is feedback from users. Here you can see feedback. Person on the left started to code our challenge on the Node.js and decided to move on to the Java, and he can do that because we decided to go with Docker. So if we had only JavaScript as SDK and didn't have Java set, this switch was very hard for them. But using this Docker solution, get people to, they give them freedom of creation. And on the right side, you can see a lot of good feedback. And another user with name Gleb had a good motivation to finally learn Docker. So this challenge not only fun, but educational for someone. But not everything was good. For example, our challenge was not so hard for people outside because they had 1 month. In our internal challenge, we have given to our colleagues only 1 week. So our best dataset, our hardest dataset was correct in 2 weeks, and we decided to create a larger dataset to participants. And we have not tested that, but after some time in our chat, we have found that no one can pass that. And why? Because our verification process cannot to verify if it is okay or not. So just test everything or you can fail. Also, we had a great time discussing challenge in our Telegram support group, and the people are giving our insights whether our infrastructure down or up. After this public award ceremony, we have people hooked. They saw prizes, happy faces. Why I cannot get the prizes? I am a very good developer too. So we decided to announce our second challenge in that moment. And Ivan announced it, and we launched it right there. Another interesting thing that we tried to have some more engagement activities on our chat group. We had them a choice to choose first place prize. You can see a poll on the left side. And on the second part, you can see that we challenge our participants. In second challenge, participated 18 developers. Launch was in FinTech challenge. I told you so, and this task was for FinTech specialists. That's a huge hit. It is our target audience. But interesting thing that award ceremony was at another dev club, and this dev club was about front-end development. So this is a miss, but we had a huge hit. But who cares now? Yes. Also, when you do something big, you always get some fails. But another most important thing that you communicate with your audience that you had fail and how it impacted them. For example, our first data set was, I think we can call this denormalized. So if you have a working solution, you submit it, you get one good result, and you tweak a little thing in it, and you can get a worst result ever. So this was because we have not tried the challenge by ourselves. We had not reference implementation, and if we had done that, we can know about that earlier and communicate with our participants about it more confident. And also you can see on the right slides that we had some minor bugs, and we communicate about them in our chat, and also mentioned people that was affected by it. So I think this handled very good. Here you can see some statistics. We had a lot of clicks of our website. Our traffic was spiked in December. We had a lot of shares for PR. It was very like a Christmas. They had a lot of content to post about our social media. And another interesting thing that we had before challenges, more followers than we had after challenges. So it's our followers was not improved. Maybe it's challenge, maybe it's not, who knows. Here you can see a timeline of our challenge. So we started planning it's at start of October, and at the end we launched something. So we had only 3 weeks to develop something, but it's possible to develop a high quality challenge in such a small time frame. And we had the challenges in length of a month, and end of it was at end of January. Are the goals achieved? From subjective perception, yes, they are achieved. We have talked with a lot of participants. We have received good feedback from them. Our colleagues was very satisfied with new friends they have met, new challenges, new perspectives that they see our daily life in Dyninno. Yes, we had good beta testers, very good participants and winners. For example, our first challenge winner was working in some tech gigant in Seattle, USA. For second challenge, we had Kaggle Grandmaster. It's very good results that we can attract such good professional store challenges. We had very good execution and help from PR department and from administration. They have to organize this and provide feedback, provide prizes and videos, and this one, yes. We have seen a lot of happy faces for participants. I was happy too to create this challenge. It was very interesting for me too. We have sent a right message, but we don't know about result. Result is unknown. We had not enough data to. If we don't know if people thought on us about us better, and they know what is Dyninno now. Yes, it is unknown results, but you can see there that people are asking, will be there a new challenge or not? And I think that if people are asking about something that you have done, they want it. So if they want it, that you have done a great job, and they think about you, good. Now we are ready with Juris to answer your questions. Type them in your comment section, and we will answer them. Thank you. Have a nice one.
Trust me. I'm a lecturer. Over and out.